Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Brew Brothers Wolf Pack Coaches Show. Jeff Choate is here. And this is a birthday bonanza Wednesday as we get set for the Beavers coming to town this Saturday, 4:30 kickoff at Mackey Stadium. We have not one, not two, but three birthdays to celebrate tonight.
Wow.
Two of the Wolf Packingest souls I know, and then, of course, the sesquicentennial. We're celebrating the university's birthday, 150th birthday on Saturday. We also have Brad Platt, number one Wolfpack man, Brad Platt. Happy birthday. And America's favorite, Quentin Conaway. Happy birthday, Q. Yeah. We're going to, Quentin and I have been reviewing some of his highlights from his career because, of course, we have the extensive audio archive. I had the privilege of calling his entire FBS
every
career.
punt.
So we do have a fake punt highlight as identified.
There we go.
That we'll play during the first break. Sorry, if you're listening or watching on Facebook Live, you have to be in our audience here at Brew Brothers. More incentive to get down to Brew Brothers. Hi, Coach. How are we doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How is practice? How's the esprit de corps of the guys moving forward from San Jose State and moving towards Oregon?
Yeah, I'd say, as I told him afterwards, now's not the time to take your foot off the gas pedal. I mean, now's the time to double down and continue to work. And we had our fastest Tuesday. We had our highest volume day. You know, you may or may not know this, but they have these GPS chips
track,
and the catapult stuff. I figured you probably were aware of that. So we can kind of gauge where we're at in terms of the level of intensity of the practice and the speed that we're getting out of the players in the practice. And I'm fired up because that was our fastest Tuesday was yesterday, our highest velocity day, and most intense Wednesday practice, at least statistically by GPS numbers, was today. And so that tells you that these guys are still working their butt off, and they believe, and they're close, and they know it. And that the only way to break through that barrier is to double down.
No lollygagging.
No lollygagging.
I like that the GPS is kind of a built-in anti-lollygagging.
Yeah. Device. So I mean, like halfway through practice, I'll go, hey, Caden, give me the numbers, and it'll be like, all right, hey, Chris Ross has hit 85. Okay, so he's good. All right, Keaton Crawford, he's hit 85. All right, B. Lou, I need some high velocity yards on you. Next time we call a Q run, you got to finish all the way to the end zone. And it kind of brings the energy level up where your starting quarterback just takes off full as fast as he can go, and so that's been kind of a cool deal, and it keeps our guys engaged. I really do. I've worked with this system for a while at a number of places, and I believe in the numbers. I think once you start, you can't rely on week 1 and 2, but once you get a kind of a backlog, you can kind of look at it and go, okay, that's what that was. That was our performance, and knowing kind of how to peak your guys for game time. I think there is some science to that, and I do rely on it, and it's been helpful.
So you'll tell guys, hey, you're not on pace for your numbers in this practice.
Yeah, and so and even like, hey, we're going to go young gun scrimmage here. We're going to do 2 series. I want everybody that hasn't hit 85 or hasn't gotten to their yardage yet. You got to go down there and hit gassers, and it's not like we're running them forever, but you're just trying to get them. Get that central nervous system where it needs to be, and because we're a Thursday off team, Wednesday is the last opportunity for us to really hit those peak numbers.
Got it.
And so we want to get that central nervous system clicking in the right space, shut it down on Thursday, and then kind of activate on Friday. That's kind of how we look at it.
Apart from Oregon State, we'll get to the scout of the Beavers, but have there been specific points of emphasis this week in practice following the San Jose State result?
Well, I think everybody's, I think this was kind of the rock bottom moment for Nevada beating Nevada. I think that was kind of the biggest thing, and there's been some, I think, some healthy conversation with the leaders on the team, with guys in the locker room, about what that looks like and how, and what's the appropriate way to handle certain situations. And I will say this: I was frustrated with the. Can I talk about officials on this, or is that going to be okay?
I mean, it's fine with me.
I'm frustrated with how things are being enforced. I'm frustrated that we got penalties for things that, on the ride home, I watched everybody else in America do. Right. I mean, I'm watching the Ole Miss guy stand over the quarterback for South Carolina and act like he's shooting him.
Right.
And that doesn't get flagged. And something that's totally irrelevant, in somebody's face, and I get that, like the brandishing weapons thing, but we've got to enforce it consistently because our players watch that. And so did San Jose State's players because they got one too.
Sure.
And then in one game it's enforced and in the other game it's not. And that's really hard to coach.
Sure.
That makes our job, I got a really easy job, right, John?
To begin
right?
with, yeah.
You know, I got a really easy job here, okay? And then make it harder by, you know, not having consistent enforcement on certain rules. And so that was frustrating to me, but that doesn't make it okay. And so, you know, hey, here's the deal, guys. We hand the ball to the official after we score a touchdown. We come to the sideline. I don't care if they stand on their head naked on the sideline. I really don't.
Right.
As long as we don't get another 15-yard penalty.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. So, you know, that might be another incentive, you know, for certain people to come and watch a game. You might see somebody stand on their head naked on the sideline.
Or you might say, I mean, it's good to try to sell tickets. Or you can just show them however 100 and whatever many touchdowns Jerry Rice scored. I think almost every single one we did handed the ball.
Yep, you're right. And we did kind of go through that because, you know, Brendan Lewis breaks like 6 tackles, scores a touchdown, hands the ball to the official.
That's such a classy move.
And so, because he's exhausted, and also he's not trying to make it about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's a hard thing to get kids to understand in this kind of instant gratification microwave society that we live in. And with NIL and transfer portal, it's all, hey, how do I make a name for myself, my brand? You know how you build a really good brand? You be a good teammate.
Yeah.
You win games.
Yeah.
You know, be a part of a program that has success. And I think that's, some of that is, you know, where we're at right now in our program, where, I mean, let's be candid, like there's some, you know, there's guys in our program that are on their 4th school. You know, like this is not, they're not riding 100% for Nevada. They're kind of about themselves at this point in time in their career. And that's a little bit of the slippery slope that you kind of engage in year one when you're trying to rebuild a program and a roster. And I remind our coaches that every time we talk about recruiting, which is every day. Hey, don't recruit your own problems.
Right.
You know, recruit the guys that you want to coach. You have the opportunity now to select those guys. And so let's be really calculated about how we go about it.
I do want to say, and because I do love how Jerry Rice always handled the ball to the officials, and I love how B. Lou's it's a very subtle flex. On the flip side, I don't personally believe that people, I mean, you get to tell your players how to celebrate. But like the rest of us, like imagine how excited you'd be if you'd scored a touchdown. I can only imagine, because I certainly don't know what that moment's like. So I do have some empathy for it. I suppose maybe not all of it.
Here was my problem. Sorry, John, I
No,
didn't mean
go
to
ahead.
cut you off, but what the hell, we're good.
It's your show.
And, good point. And, but like Cortez Braham gets a penalty. He didn't score the touchdown.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on, bro. You know, like, what are we doing here? But yeah, all right. But why do I have to relive this stuff on Wednesdays with you?
You know, that's between you and Kovac and Brew Brothers. I don't know. I guess we could do it. We could do it Saturday night if you want to stay up late enough.
I was telling Janet was like, when we start winning, or my son Jory was telling me like, this is going to be so awesome. I mean, this place is going to be packed out. Yeah, and we're going to be going like shots.
Yeah.
You know, like that'll be the show.
That's a great show. We can do it anyway. All right. Can we talk a little bit about some of your decisions down the stretch there? Because you, I thought correctly on 4th and 3.5. Drained the clock down to 2:20 something with a lead. Your defense had stopped San Jose State 2 of their last 3 possessions. You take the delay of game penalty to back up to give Gillespie, your punter, a little more room. I think he ends up kicking it into the end zone, but whatever. You put him at the 20. And you drain it was down to like 2:27. Now, you have subsequently said that you should have gone for it on 4th down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's not going to admit this. I don't believe him. He's not telling the truth. I think Jeff Choate is making sure he gets the criticism rather than his team. And you don't have to comment on that, but that is my theory because I think the punt decision was the correct one.
Well, I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay.
But by the same token, I mean, those, you know, like there's a million different things you have to do during the course of a game, and when you're managing a game, there's a lot of decisions that come and go. But the most impactful ones, oftentimes, are the ones that are late in the game.
Yep.
And so, you know, I thought we played a really good game on offense. I thought we'd had a good plan. I thought Matt did a really good job. I thought Brendan Lewis by far played his best game as a member of this program.
I thought he was dazzling.
Probably his best game as a college football player.
I mean, I think that's one of the best games I've ever seen any Nevada quarterback play.
No.
He was doing everything.
I got beat
so
by
well.
Cap a couple times.
I never saw Cap here, so that's that's different. That's a different class. Yeah, you did get beat by Cap. So
but anyway, long story short, I just thought Brennan was really. He ran so determined. He made such good decisions with the football. He was accurate as a passer. Distributed the ball well. We were effective running the ball against a stout front. And defensively. We knew if we were going to, they actually could have ran the ball more against us because we weren't going to get out of double and Nash.
Right.
And so if you're going to,
They did it early. They ran against it early.
Did.
They kind of went away from it.
They got away from it a little bit. And then we actually got in their quarterback's head a little bit. I mean, we batted some balls. He's not a very tall guy. And probably the worst thing that happened to us was they pulled him and put 5 in because he was really good at the end.
He'd only thrown 4 passes all year.
Yeah, beginner's luck. You know how that goes, man. We've all played blackjack, and one hand was good, and the next 25 were not. So that's the way it goes.
All right. So. One last question about the sparring game. Speak on it no more. Mike and I during the game have the privilege of, as this is back and forth, 3 different leads for each side and 4 ties. I mean, we're going, man, what a game. Is there any point on the sideline where you are experiencing that game where you have a moment where you go, man, this is a pretty good college football game?
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool.
And I don't
I'm happy that you get,
I don't think I would have done that a decade ago.
Sure.
I think I have an appreciation for when, hey, it's a good fight, man. This is what it's about.
It really was.
We're in this thing, and they're in this thing, and
both sides are playing hard.
And there was not a lot of BS. I mean, there wasn't, guys pushing each other back and forth and fist fighting. And it was just, let's play ball. Your good stuff against our good stuff, and let the chips fall where they may. And I do have a lot of respect for Coach Ken, and I did acknowledge that in the moment.
Because obviously, that's a tough result. So that is heartening. All right, we're moving forward. And our friends at Baselite are looking forward to the Wolf Pack getting back out there against Oregon State and everybody else this year. Call Baselite for any of your concrete products needs. Baselite, 775-358-1200. Shout out Mike Edwards. Is Mike here? Mike, Baselite, he's got a big backyard project going on. Baselite Concrete, taking care of the Edwards. Next home game, 4:30 this Saturday. Brought to you by Ryder Homes. The Beavers coming to Mackey Stadium. MyNevadaTickets.com. MyNevadaTickets.com. Okay, it's a Royal out.
I did not know that.
Royal
Just found
Blue.
that out.
Royal Blue.
Yeah.
So make sure you get your Royal Blue Wolfpack gear at Silver and Blue Outfitters for the game. First 5,000 fans get a Royal Blue Rally towel from Great Clips. And you also get a commemorative ticket if you go to NevadaWolfpack.com/commemorative ticket. Also, Serena Karai's band at the We Are Nevada Fan Zone starting at 3 o'clock. So lots to do at the sesquicentennial game on Saturday. We'll take a quick timeout. He's Jeff Choate. We're live at Brew Brothers. It's the Wolfpack Coaches Show. Welcome back. We're live. This is the Wolfpack Coaches Show. He is Jeff Choate. You can clap for Coach. You can clap for Brew Brothers. You can clap for me. You can clap for yourselves.
Give it up for John.
Thanks.
And hey, my brother John, too.
Oh, shout out John on Facebook Live.
That's right. We gotta do that every week.
That's right. Fans, if you don't know, you can come to Brew Brothers here in downtown Reno. There is no cover. You, of course, can listen online, the Varsity Network app, thevarsitynetwork.com. You can listen over terrestrial radio here in northern Nevada, 94.1 FM, 1450 AM. And you can watch and listen on Facebook Live on the official Nevada Wolfpack Facebook page. Bud Light is a proud sponsor of Nevada Athletics. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Oregon State, there's a big number when you look at Oregon State, apart from 4-1, and that is their rushing total.
Yeah.
They run the ball in a big way. 6th best in the nation per game. Their average is, 264 plus yards a game.
Yeah. That's going to be a big challenge. Obviously, tons of 12 personnel, 13 personnel. Oregon State's kind of almost had a reputation of turning into kind of a tight end U of its own. And they're very, very much what they had done under Jonathan Smith, they've continued to do. not as explosive in the vertical passing game, but very efficient running the football. I think they're also one of the top time of possession teams in the country as well.
In fact, they are the best, averaging 36 and a half.
So really, when you look at this, as for us, it's almost like we're playing a service academy. We're playing a triple option team.
Okay.
And so what that means is you've got to maximize every single possession. They're going to go for it on fourth downs, on fourth and shorts, pretty much anywhere on the field. And they're going to try to kind of bleed you out, hold on to the ball. They do create some explosives in the vertical passing game with their play action off their heavy run action. And then Giovanni McCoy.
We remember him.
Yeah. I mean, I've never played against him, but obviously I know he was the quarterback at Idaho a year ago, and he could definitely create outside the offense. And when they need a play, that's kind of what they've gone to against Colorado State in a tight game last week, and then also against Purdue. He didn't really run the ball a bunch early on. And they actually kind of rotated quarterbacks early on.
Yep.
And so
with 5 Gabari Johnson.
Yep, exactly. And so he's kind of solidified himself as the guy. And like I said, when you're thinking about it from our standpoint, it's like, hey, this is like us playing, Army or Navy or Air Force, where we've got to maximize every possession, understanding that they're going to try to hold the ball as long as they can.
I mean, but you guys try to hold the ball as long as you can anyway.
It may be the shortest. Yeah. The good news is
it's great for
there'll
broadcasters.
be plenty of time for birthday cake and ice cream for the University of Nevada. Nevada after the game. I'm not going to say that, by the way.
Sesquicentennial?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's not
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I was not prepped for that at Western Montana College.
Right. Well, they also they will celebrate if they have not a sesquicentennial at some point.
At some point they will.
Yeah.
At some point they will. I think they were 1880 something.
Sure. But, I mean, in all seriousness, you guys are going to run the ball. The clock's going to move.
Yeah, it is. And I do think that, they play a ton of man-to-man on defense. They have a pretty stout front. So it'll be interesting. I think that it's about winning our one-on-ones. Especially on the perimeter, because if we get into slot sets, they tend to double the slot a lot. But, hey, man, let's go play a game.
We're talking about the sesquicentennial, the birthday, the 150th anniversary of the University of Nevada, and you talked about it last week right here on the Coach's Show, how cool it is that the actual date, October 12th, 1874, October 12th, 2024. You're wearing the crest on your shirt right now. You're a history guy. This has real resonance. This isn't just talking points for you.
No, for sure. I think it's so awesome. What was it? October 12th, 1874 in Elko.
Yeah.
With 7 students, the University of Nevada opens its doors, and we have an opportunity to celebrate this campus. I will say this, I've had the opportunity to work a lot of places. This campus is the most beautiful, vibrant campus I have ever stepped foot on.
Yeah.
And I really think that if you haven't, if people out there, if it's a beautiful day and you want to go for a walk from Mackey Stadium to the Quad and back, and tell me that you're not just blown away by what a beautiful place that is.
I was just there yesterday on a beautiful day.
Yeah, you got Manzanita Lake, and the history, it just kind of comes over you. And so I really think it's cool. I think we're actually going to do something kind of neat. We're going to take the team. We're going to walk down to the Quad on Friday morning and do our walkthrough. Encourage students and anybody in the community that wants to come out and watch. Evidently, let's try to break the budget that President Sandoval has planned for coffee and donuts. Let's make sure and have a good crowd. And we'll kind of go through our pregame walkthrough stuff, and then we'll walk back through campus. And part of the reason why I thought this was a great idea is because so many of our kids haven't had the opportunity to really understand that, to go by John Mackey's statue and to stand there in front of Morrill Hall and walk through our beautiful campus. And I think it's going to be awesome.
So what time are you guys doing that?
I think it's 8:30 on Friday morning. Yeah.
Because, I got to find you after practice anyway. So I might be there, drink a little coffee.
What the heck? Free coffee and donuts.
You can't beat it.
No.
I know you talked about points of emphasis during this week in practice, but, what are the points of emphasis for beating the Beavers?
Yeah.
I know you want to control the ball. I know you want to make the possessions count. Are there individuals that you think you have to neutralize specifically? Or is it
Well, okay, so let's talk about it from the defensive perspective first, all right? Obviously, Giovanni McCoy is their starting quarterback. He's the guy that makes the whole thing go. Number 7 is their best receiver, and he's a good one.
Trent Walker.
Yeah, and he's physical, and he's a good punt returner as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just he's got good juice, but he's also very physical. They have better team speed than most of the teams that we played against, as you would expect a Pac-12 team to have. Obviously, this is a team that's won 10 and 11 games each of the last 2 years, and been in the conversation for Pac-12 championships. The kind of the two-headed monster at running back, 0 and 8.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are real runners, man. They're a problem. And so they're both kind of that bowling ball style, 5'9", 205, 210. Their offensive line is a little bit revamped, but they're a tight end-oriented run offense. And so they're gonna get they run a play that is popularly called duo in college football, and I refer to it as power without the pole. And so the duo refers to 2 double teams at the point of attack. And when they get into bunch sets, that's something that they'd like to do a lot. And they're moving a lot of humans. And so that's a play that we've got to fit really well in the run game. If we can do that, then they have their play action off of that. We've got to play with great eyes in the back end. Ultimately, we've got to make them earn it. Don't give up the chunk plays. They're going to get their share of good runs. They're going to get their share of throws. But we can't give up the catastrophic explosives. And then when we get an opportunity, we got to be able to corral 4, because when things break down, he's kind of the eraser for them.
Right.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, I mentioned they're a heavy man-to-man defense. They like to muddy it up in the run game. They run a lot of what I call line games, so they have a lot of twists and stunts up front on mixed downs for runs.
And what is it? That just makes it hard to find your assignment for the offensive
Well,
line?
I mean, I think obviously if you're man blocking and your man moves, that
Right.
makes it harder,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And so that probably will force us into some other things. And so I think Brennan's legs will be important in this game, as they have been in all of our games. And I think our ability to win one-on-one on the perimeter, they're going to play press man most of the game. And so
is that an opportunity?
Exactly. And they have a lot of confidence in how they do it. And so can we win on the perimeter? That's going to be a critical thing for us in this. And as always, we have to establish the run. And so the combination of those things on offense and then defensive, or in special teams rather, we got to make. I mean, every point's going to count in this game. This isn't. I don't see this as being a shootout type of game. I think every point's going to count, and we have to make. We got to be 100% snap, hold, kick, and then I think one area where we've got to really try to exploit things is potentially in the punt return game. That's their kickoff guy. I mean, he's got a howitzer, man. I mean, and at altitude. The balls don't land in the field of play in Corvallis. They're probably not going to do that in Reno.
Right. Do you like that it is a team that is so, there's not a lot of mystery about what they want to do? Do you like that it's a bit of a for lack of a better term, kind of a test of manhood?
Yeah, it's an mano game, and I appreciate that style for sure. I think that's it's always fun to kind of test yourself against that. They're a team that's won a lot of football games over the last several years. Yeah. And they definitely have a lot of confidence. You saw that confidence last week when the game got tight. I really felt like Colorado State probably outplayed them. Mm-hmm. But their confidence and the fact that they know how to win kind of pulled them through. And that, the fact that McCoy made some critical plays in critical moments.
Put Shelter on your team for your insurance needs. You'll be glad you did. Find an agent near you, shelterinsurance.com. Get a free insurance review. Shelter Insurance, we're your shield, we're your shelter. MMS Events Unlimited Mobile Stage, our great friends and partner, can elevate your concert speaker or special event. Book yours today at biggestlittlestage.com. Rise above the rest. We will take a time out when we come back. We'll get Parker Henry, special teams coordinator, linebackers coach.
The old bulldog.
Will you stay up here and we can check that story that you told about Coach Henry? And
I don't know. I don't want him tackling me again, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can trust him.
But he has tackled you at least once.
Yes, he has.
Okay. Well, that's a tease. We'll talk about how Parker Henry tackled Jeff Choate when we come back. We're live at Brew Brothers. It's the Wolf Pack Coaches Show from Learfield. Welcome back. We're live at Brew Brothers inside the row. This is the Wolf Pack Coaches Show. Nevada hosting Oregon State. 4:30 kickoff on Saturday at Mackey Stadium. The weather is going to be perfect. We look forward to seeing all of you at Mackey to celebrate the sesquicentennial. That's Latin for 150th. 150th.
That's Latin, huh?
I think sesquicentennial, Latin?
Probably.
I don't think it's Greek. Thanks for checking me on that.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Anybody wants to fact check me, you're welcome to. Wolfpack fans, Friends of the Pack is the NIL collective providing support for Nevada athletes. If you want to learn more, if you want to contribute, go to friendsofthepack.com, friendsofthepack.com, supported by Coit Cleaning and Restoration of Reno. Oh, also, really quickly, we love the Wolfpack and we love value. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend of football, sunshine, and aloha. October 26th, Nevada takes on Hawaii and Honolulu. Stay at Outrigger Resorts and Hotels for the game. Go to outrigger.com and use that promo code SPORTS because we love the Wolfpack, we love Hawaii, and we love value. Dodgers got to run. 1-0.
Yeah, Killam's probably a little
Matthew
angry
Killam,
about that
it's
right now.
early. It's 1-0 in the second. That is quite a preamble for Parker Henry, special teams coordinator. Welcome. I already know that you're Bulldog.
Yep.
Would you like to tell the people how you became Bulldog?
Yeah, so the man sitting next to me here, at one point, when we were running a linebackers drill my true freshman year up at Washington State, Coach Choate was my coach, and I was the odd man out, just as it happened. And so we were doing a tackling drill, and Coach decided to essentially be a tackling dummy, but I kind of unbeknownst to him. So I just kind of took it full speed and just kind of drove him right into the ground. So, that's kind of what happened.
And as I told you, first of all, I was a little taken back. I was a little better shape back then. I could hold my weight a little bit, but I got up and I was like, all right, Bulldog. And then it stuck. And as I told you, the late Mike Leach probably never knew his name was Parker. I mean, he knew who Bulldog was.
Yes.
Bulldog.
The nickname literally took on a life of its own, and probably for the last 10 years of my life, there's been more people that have called me Bulldog than Parker, so without a doubt.
I mean, the only other Bulldog I can think of, speaking of baseball's Oral Hershiser, who's a world
there you
champion,
go.
best pitcher on a world champion Dodgers team back in the last century. But that's a good nickname to have.
It's not bad.
Had you ever had any other nicknames?
Nope. That was
Bulldog.
it.
Are the people allowed to call you Bulldog,
Yeah.
or do we have to kind
No,
of?
that works.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
I was going over I was reviewing your CV, and where is it? Well, I had my notes here. Yeah, you were a walk-on, and you also got your degree in economics and sports management. Is that a double major?
Yeah.
Econ seems like a heavy lift for a student athlete.
Well, when you're at school for 5 years,
it's
you
still
you can take some left turns, right turns, do whatever you want. The coveted Washington State education, so that's
Sure.
what we got. Yeah.
I mean, do you make casual references to Keynesian policy?
No, actually, I lean on Matt. He's a big stock investor, so he's kind of my pseudo stock trader for me. So
Got it.
Advisor.
But
yeah.
seriously, how did you? We know that some majors are more popular than others with student athletes, generally speaking. Econ, I would say, is an outlier major. How'd you get?
Honestly, just kind of stumbled into it. Like most kids, when you go to college, you don't really know what you want to do. And so I was taking some math classes, and really, econ was a little different than regular math, and had a really good teacher.
Yeah.
It was really it, and who made it. He made class interesting and fun. And so really my summer courses are all econ courses.
Wow.
And so those were the courses I took, and most of them were in his class. And so that's kind of how I got into it.
Did you guys have class at the Coug or Valhalla?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. He split it up. So I've used my econ degree to become a football coach naturally.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Let's talk about your path in coaching. How did that come about? Did you always know you would coach when you were a player?
I didn't know for sure. After I got out of football, I was just kind of, you're in that routine. You're kind of in the rat race for a long time. So I wanted to step away, and I was working at an NFL agency for a little bit, and I just didn't really like it. And so I
Like representation?
Yeah.
Talent repping?
Yep.
So you thought you might want to be an agent?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to stay around the game. A little bit of that econ thing came in there. But once I was there, I was living in Laguna Beach. It was a cool place, but I just didn't really like it. It wasn't my thing.
Really? That's a nice spot.
Yeah, it didn't fill my cup, so I moved back
Sure.
home.
Okay.
My wife, Lucy, loved that I moved back home into my parents' house. She's like, all right, got a winner here. So coached at my high school for a season, and I got the bug, and then I went down the road to Portland State, and I volunteered there for about 6 months, and then their linebacker coach ended up leaving before the season, and so I was fortunate enough to get brought on and actually work under our current D-line coach and associate head coach, Payam Sadat, who was a defensive coordinator there at the time.
At Portland.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. And then how did you come to the Pack?
This guy right here. So, he got the job, and, probably a week or so after he got it, he got a text, or I got a text from him, and essentially was like, hey, you want to do this thing? And, ask me some questions, and obviously, it took me 2 seconds to say yes.
Did you kind of know he might be a coach someday?
Well, I actually was surprised that he went into coaching because I thought he was a pretty intelligent guy, and so
That is a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I know. So ironically, I knew that obviously I'd run into. I think I ran into you when you were at Portland State, and then we connected there. And then obviously he was at Oklahoma when I was at Texas.
Okay.
And then he went to USC with Lincoln Riley, and then eventually went back to Portland State to kind of run his own room and get his opportunity to get going. But I'd already had a text back and forth with him, and had him on kind of my list. And then I had probably a 15, 20-minute conversation with Lincoln Riley about like probably the biggest mistake we made was letting this guy go, and just had a ton of respect for him. And I will say this, he has the hardest job on the staff. And he knows what I'm talking about because he's coaching linebackers and special teams.
Right.
And I have a very strong opinion about both of them.
I guess you in particular, yes, because that is your
path. And so having somebody that knows me, that we have a relationship, that I can challenge him, I can be hard on him. He takes it the right way. He wants to be great. He doesn't look at it like this guy's clipping my wings, or it's not personal. And I have a ton of respect for how he's handled that. And I've seen, even in a short amount of time, I've just seen this growth in him, and he's going to be awesome at what he does. He's going to be a big-time guy.
We're going to get Matthew Killam up here. Do you want to stay up here while we have Killam? Get the two of you? I'd love to actually kind of
absolutely
peer inside that very specific relationship, because special teams, it's special forces, is how it's been kind of explained to me. Mm-hmm. It's a different thing.
Yeah, and then kicking's a whole nother different animal.
Yeah.
Kill him, I either love him or I hate him.
Sure.
There's no in between.
Okay, we'll take time out. We'll get Killam back up here. Parker Henry is with us. Jeff Choate is with us. We are live at Brew Brothers Inside the Row. This is the Wolf Pack Coaches Show from Learfield. Welcome back inside Brew Brothers, biggest little city, downtown Reno, inside the Row, inside the El Dorado. This is the Wolf Pack Coaches Show. We have Matthew Killam, place kicker. We have special teams coordinator, linebackers coach Parker Henry. Yeah, give it up. Give it up. Matthew Killam from San Diego, huge Padres fan. Doesn't miss a game. You're locked in on the Padres.
Yeah, I try not to, so excuse me if I'm a little distracted right now.
No, it's actually, it's beautiful.
Have the playoff game going on in front of me.
Yeah, Padres can clinch a
they sure
division
can.
series win.
They sure can. They're down right now, but they sure can.
It's early. It's early. Somerset Golf and Country Club offers pristine playing conditions, the best greens in northern Nevada, and a relaxing clubhouse featuring an all-new menu. Membership start at only $300 a month. SomersetGolfandCountryClub.com. Camelot Party Rentals, our great friends. They make it great so you can celebrate. Best selection of rental equipment for weddings and special events. Camelot Party Rentals, proud sponsor of the Wolf Pack. All right, Matthew Killam, in your bio, you say that your favorite athlete is Tony Gwynn. I am doing the math here. Do you remember Tony Gwynn as a player? I can't imagine you would have seen him play.
I did not, no.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of his son playing for the Padres when he had his stint there. And he's kind of just an icon in San Diego.
Yeah.
You see the statue outside the ballpark. And I've watched all the YouTube videos,
Yeah.
He's just probably the best hitter that's ever been.
Certainly the greatest hitter I ever saw.
Yeah.
Pure hitter. I did have the opportunity to interview him once when he was the head coach at San Diego State.
Very cool.
It was the year he was going into the Hall of Fame, so this is late 2000s. As advertised, nicest guy ever. So I just want you to know you have great taste in athletics heroes. Let's chop it up a little bit here. Special teams. It's weird. You guys practice off to the side. My very good friend Danny Reese was the holder for Kai Forbath at UCLA, and he used to kind of explain, like he and the long snapper, they hung out It was different. Can you explain the dynamic, either of you? Because it's unique within football, right?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, the funniest thing is like when people ask me like, "Oh, do you play football?" I guess say sort of. You know, like I'm on the team. Yeah.
You have a helmet.
Yeah, I have a helmet. I travel with the team. Do you count it playing football? I don't know. It's gonna be, it's its own role. It's unique.
Sure.
But it is important. But yeah, the dynamic with other players, we are on a whole different schedule. They're beating their bodies in every day, and I'll go get a couple kicks.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. I'll have energy after practice. They'll just go home and want to sleep.
Right.
So it's definitely two different things. But the relationship with all the other teammates, it goes pretty smooth. I feel like specialists do have a stigma of being kind of oddballs, kind of weird sometimes. But I consider myself closer to normal. But
You seem just normal. I'm
yeah.
totally fine. Yeah.
So you have all the relationships with the buddies, all the teammates. You work out with them in the off season. You gain their respect there if you can run, if you can lift.
Sure.
So yeah, it's pretty normal.
Coach Henry, is there a preferred kind of temperament or personality for maybe place kicking?
Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
You got to be steady Eddie. And, that's something I think, our whole room is really good at. It's an older group, which is awesome. Like, these guys are self-sufficient. Honestly, they're by themselves at practice 90% of the time. And, I really lean on Matt and, a couple other guys that are going to be here, but Nick Barcelos, who's our long snapper and short snapper, like, those guys they lead the room. And, they're mature. We give them a sheet of stuff to work on, and they're self-sufficient. They don't have to have somebody looking over their shoulder to make sure they're doing their work. They just self-starters, and that's what these guys do. And, to Matt's point, like, especially, Matthew, he's one of the hardest working guys on the team. Like, we had, one of my favorite stories about him is when Coach first got here, we had a 400-meter, like, all-out run, right? And Matt, the starting kicker, I think was the third fastest guy on the team.
Let's go.
Like, just emptying the tank. Like, almost like, wants to fall over at the end, but he's just emptying the tank.
Yeah.
So, how do you earn the respect of your teammates? You do stuff like that.
Do you enjoy those circumstances?
Yeah, I do a lot. Ever since freshman year, I've seen a lot of strength staffs, a lot of coaches since I've been here, and it's just fun. That's just where you're kind of on a level playing field. If they let you run, they let you work out. That's kind of where you can gain some respect for sure.
So one thing I think about, this is a little bit weird, but like I like old World War II submarine movies, and they're always on the surface, and they say, "Oh, we've got a plane," and they have to dive in a short amount of time, and they drill so that they can get under the waves and they're safe. Is that like you guys, like, oh my God, we've got to kick a field goal and the clock's running? Like, how quickly? Do you have a target time that you drill on?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we work, which is called like Mayday field goal.
Mayday,
so we work that.
Crash dive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Every single, hopefully not crash, but we work that every single Friday.
How fast does that need to be?
About 16 seconds.
16
is
seconds.
About the minimum that you need in terms of. It's a 20-man sub. It's mass. So it's it's good, but again, you got to be steady Eddie. Can't be panicking when you're running on the field, and these guys do a great job of keeping that level-headed mentality.
What's your mantra when you are preparing and then you realize you've got to get out there and make a kick? Like, is there a...
Yeah, you take a couple deep breaths, and at the end of the day, I just say kick the ball. Kick the ball so you go through the uprights. That's
just like
about
as
it.
simple as that?
Yeah. It's so similar to golf, and I'm sure people can relate.
Sure.
If you have a single, technical thought in your mind, you're going to mess up.
Toast.
Yeah. So you just got to have a clear mind, kind of be in that flow state, and just trust your process, trust the work you put in.
Also says you surf, shortboard or longboard?
Longboard.
Longboard, that's classy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll let you get back to the Padres game because we're out of time and it's very important. So
Hey.
Give it up for Matthew Killam, everybody. Wolf Pack place kicker. Parker Henry. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back to wrap it up. We're live at Brew Brothers, Wolf Pack Coach Show from Learfield. All right, we're back. We're live. We're wrapping it up here at Brew Brothers, Wolf Pack Coaches Show. Thank you to Parker Henry. Thank you to Matthew Killam. Thank you to Jeff Choate. And we have to shout out some commentors from the Facebook page. And shout out John. Thanks, John. I passed along your question to Coach Choate, and then also shout out to Randy. Thanks for engaging with our content. Couple of notes for this upcoming Saturday. It's a royal out, royal blue. Wear your royal blue Wolfpack gear at Silver and Blue Outfitters. First 5,000 fans at Mackey get a royal blue rally towel from Great Clips, and you can get your commemorative sesquicentennial 150th anniversary ticket if you go to nevadawolfpack.com/commemorative ticket. So a lot to celebrate this weekend. Oregon State coming in. The Beavers, as we talked about, 4-1, 1-0 on the road, with the 6th best rushing per game average in the nation and the top time of possession average in the nation. So styles make fights. We keep saying that, and this is going to be a really interesting stylistic matchup. Mike Edwards and me get started at 3:30, 1 hour before kickoff at Mackey Stadium with the Bud Light Tailgate Show. We will be out just by the scoreboard beyond the northern end zone at Mackey at 3:30, so come say hi. 105.7 FM, also on the Varsity Network app, and then live on the Nevada Wolfpack Facebook page. Kickoff at 4:30, and we'll have all the action for you on Saturday. So we look forward to visiting with you on Saturday. Thanks for coming down to Brew Brothers. Happy birthday, Brad. Happy birthday, Quentin. And as soon as we wrap up here, we'll toast you. Okay. So long, everybody. Take it easy.